Awesome. Well, I want to thank everyone for being here. I'm super excited. My name is Sasha. If we haven't met yet, I'm helping Lisa out with leadership. I'm also an agent. And oh, awesome. Dean's coming on. I have some really fantastic special guests that are going to share with us. And I wanted to start like they do with the national and regional meetings with the mission moment. Liza shared her story in surviving COVID, and I have thought about it every day since. And she said she would be willing to share with all of us. It's really powerful, and I just wanted to give her the opportunity as a gift to us to share her story.
Aloha, everyone. Hi, KW Ohana. This is not easy for me to share my story because I'm being very vulnerable and very honest. But I think it's important because it's been 2 years since COVID, and we are all frustrated with the whole masks thing and the limited time to get together with our family and our friends. But just so that you know, I had COVID, I was vaccinated, I'm healthy. Yes, I do have asthma, as my doctor kept reminding me, but otherwise I have no other issues with my health. And it was really, really bad. I thought at one point I wouldn't even make it because I couldn't breathe. And I was given prednisone by the doctor in a pill form, but I kept coughing and I would throw up the pill. So it wasn't working. And then I was trying to use my inhaler, but of course, in order for the inhaler to work, you need to take deep breaths, and I could not do that either. So I called my doctor. He told me to go to the emergency room, and we all know how we feel about Maui Memorial. So I didn't want to go to the hospital and be away from my family and be alone and have to deal with this. So Lisa had sent me a contact to a doctor that does at-home mobile services. So I called him, and I could barely talk because I was not even getting oxygen. And he said, I sound really bad. That he was going to put me on the priority list, and he had a doctor at my house in an hour and a half. And quickly she was able to hook me up to an IV. I was able to get the steroids that I needed right into my stream, which honestly, that saved my life. And I was, of course, dehydrated, so they gave me a bag of saline and some other medications as well. And I was so grateful because before that happened, I was in the bathroom coughing and struggling with breathing. And of course, my husband was out with the kids trying to get them tested for COVID. And he had to go down to War Memorial and wait hours. So I was by myself during that little window of me feeling like I wasn't going to make it. And I cried in the bathroom because I thought, I'm not going to see my kids grow up. I'm not going to see my twins graduate high school. I'm not going to be able to see the story that they tell in their lives. And, you know, so quickly your life just flashes before you. And it was a really scary, scary moment. But so grateful I'm on the other side. And once my doctor cleared me to get the booster, I ran to get the booster because my recovery is also difficult because my lungs have been scarred. And so what happens is when I talk at length, I get short of breath. I start coughing, and then I have to use my inhaler. So that's hard because, you know, as realtors, we're going a mile a minute, and as moms also, we're going a mile a minute. So I just want to remind everyone how real this is and how scary it is. And protect yourselves, protect your ohana. And again, this is me being vulnerable. And I'm always not comfortable, sharing like my weaknesses. I'm sure none of us are, but I thought it was important, and Sasha felt it could help others in our KW Ohana. So that's all I have to say, and stay safe. And thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Liza. I know you need to get to an inspection, but we just love you. You have an Ohana here, and I appreciate you being vulnerable. I think we're all exhausted with this, and hearing your story was so powerful. So it's a gift to us for you to share. Thank you.
We love you, Liza. You're looking good.
Yes, we do.
During Mark's login.
Love you guys. Aloha.
Okay, aloha. Thank you. Again, my name's Sasha. Lisa's traveling. She asked me to help facilitate. It's an honor to be here. I'm super excited to be working with leadership and appreciate all of you and your time. Definitely want to add value to you this morning. And so Liza was willing to share that story. And then I did ask our residential rock star, one of the many, I don't know if you guys have been feeling it on the national call. They're saying, you know, we've had this unprecedented rise in growth in real estate, and they are talking about feeling a shift. And they say, we don't know where it's going to happen, but Colette had experienced 2008, our regional director, and she said she could feel it coming. And so I asked Todd Hudson to share what he's experienced this year and what he thinks from his perspective, the financial forecast is moving forward. And so I don't know if he's on yet, but Todd, if you're on, we'd love to hear from you.
Sure. Hey guys, how's everyone?
Awesome.
So I will say COVID's real, so we just got over it in our household too. We actually use the same doctor, so that was pretty awesome. You have somebody come in and treat you from your house was pretty nice and really worked wonders. Sorry, I got sunglasses on, messed up my eye, so I don't think anybody wants to see what it looks like under there. That being said, the market. I think we're probably a little bit different than we're seeing in the rest of the country. I'm sure most of the agents who are pretty active, at least on Maui, are feeling it as well. The flip side to us is while some of the mainland is starting to feel that squeeze, you know, we're just coming into high season. So, you know, we're going to be in high season for a good 4 months. We have no inventory, still shrinking inventory. You know, we watch the numbers every single month, every week on our team, and we talk about them. So I think we'll probably be a little bit more isolated than the rest of the country. And obviously, when that shift does happen, there's a possibility it just completely moves past Maui. We become the new New York City or the new San Francisco. You know, we have seen, because of all the large amount of money coming in, you know, we're seeing people that probably didn't travel here as much prior, but with, you know, Oprah, who's been laying the groundwork for many years, and Ellison coming in, and then of course we saw Jeff Bezos come in and buy that property. You know, we're probably going to be the new land of the rich and famous, as we're seeing more and more people taking a look at some big boy properties. And I'm sure some of the agents can talk about that as well. You know, people that are coming to see stuff. But, you know, you still need to be ready and prepared in case it does hit us. So, you know, don't think this can go on forever. It's probably the mistake a lot of people made in 07, 08. So it's possible that it could happen to us. And usually we fall somewhere 6 to 8 months right around looking at LA market. So if LA is just starting to slow, we could be looking at 6 to 8 months for that to be occurring for us. So you keep that in mind. But right now we're just in a really solid upswing, no real end in sight, but we got to remember what goes up must come down eventually. So never think it can't happen or it's not going to happen. And try to isolate yourself, or at least try to start preparing yourself for how you're going to move forward when that does happen.
Awesome. Thank you, Todd. We appreciate your perspective and with all your experience, and appreciate you being on and sharing today.
No problem.
Awesome. Okay, so also wanted to feature, we could have $1 million listing here in Maui, right? They have all these TV shows, and we have Dean Otto here to talk about how listings has impacted his business and how he got himself in a position to be a luxury listing agent. As a little bit of a plug for our February 3rd Gene Rivers Clinic, I don't know if Latasha can throw up that slide, but we have our region paid for Gene Rivers to come, and it's free to us. And there's still some slots. So yeah, Dean, thank you for being on. If you wouldn't mind just speaking to the power of listings and how you put yourself in a position to be where you are.
Thank you, Sasha. Yes, so you know what? I'm like 100% a listing agent. 100% of my effort in marketing and everything that I spend my resources or focus on throughout the entire last year was 100% focus on listings. And so, most of us on this call, as I'm looking at the group here, it seems to me like most of us are individual agents. I know Todd has a team and there are other teams out there, and some of you are on teams.
Okay,
but I think it's a large majority. There's a large majority of us that are individual agents. And I thought what was really interesting to share, especially with this great class that's coming up. It's like one of the best classes that I think Keller Williams offers, this listing class. And man, there's just nothing else more important than listings. That's really what we're here to do. If you're an individual agent and you're not on a team, you have one sole purpose, and that's to get listings. What was really interesting is I was lucky enough to be in the top 100 individual agent mastermind with Gary Keller last year, and that was really fun. But the very, very, very first thing that he said in the very first meeting that we had was very interesting, and it's probably the takeaway that I've taken away with me from the entire series, was his first statement. And that is that he did all the research before he met with us. He studied all the individual agents, which he hasn't really done much of in the past. He's a team concept guy, but has been noticing success of individual agents, particularly as it results to their net income. And basically what he did is he stood up on that very first day and he said, there's something really interesting that I've discovered in my research on individual agents. And what it is that every 99% of the successful individual agents are listing agents. And I was like, wow, man, that's amazing. And I've always been a listing agent, but it just reinforced my opinion that if you're an individual agent, there's only one way to do real estate, and that's get listings. If you intend to scale a business up to high level, right? To get to high level, you have to be a listing agent. And I can give you an example. The example would be, I have 20 listings right now. There's no way I could be working with 20 active buyers. So if you're going to scale up in this business and you're an individual agent, there's really no other option for you, and that is to go grab listings. And this class that's coming up is going to show you a little bit about how to do that. But I'm also going to offer a class coming up soon. It's going to be with Latasha, and I know Lisa's also asked me to teach a class on the strategy behind breaking into luxury markets, breaking into new markets, or just breaking into the business. And it completely 100% revolves around trying to get listings. There is no other way to do it. You can get lucky and stumble into buyers, but that's not a strategy, right? Strategy is something that you stick with long term. And if you would like to come to the class that I'm going to teach with Latasha and maybe later on with Lisa, I'm going to show you a little bit about how I approach this business and how I get listings and how I compete in new markets to get listings away from other agents who already have the listings in that market, right? So, what I do is I'm very, very, very hyper-focused on what I'm doing. I only isolate one community per year, and I isolate all of my resources and focus onto that one little niche, and I stick with it until I win it. And then when I win that niche, I go into the next one. So I'm not casting my net and saying I'm an expert in Maui luxury real estate. I'm not at all. I'm focusing on individual complexes and areas to win those over. I'll take down one neighborhood at a time till I take the whole island down.
Awesome.
But you know what I'm saying, right? So listings are critical. Gary Keller's the very, very first thing he told us all is that if you're going to be an individual agent, you better get out there and get listings, because that's the way to scale up in this business. And it's the only way to scale up fast. So it's also the only way to break into luxury. It's the only way to break into new markets as well. So be happy to share more about that strategy in the upcoming classes that I'm not teaching, but I'll be there to share and have a discussion with you guys on how to grow your business and how to get listings. That's how you grow your business.
Awesome,
That
Dean.
make sense?
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much for your time. That's fantastic. Really appreciate you sharing with us. And I think Latasha put the registration down in the chat. So it's really easy. Just click the link, put in your email, and there's a limited number of spots. So go for it now if you'd like. And thank you, Dean, for your time.
Sasha, can I interrupt you just for a quick second?
Absolutely.
Baron put in the chat, she wanted to know about Dean's classes. For the one scheduled with me, you can save the date. It's going to be February the 10th, which is Thursday, and it's going to be 10 to 11, and it will be recorded. And we should get out announcements for that either this week or next week. But again, February 10th from 10 to 11, and it will be recorded.
Awesome, Latasha, thank you. So when I first joined KW, I was so impressed with this individual. He gave me a warm welcome. Jonathan is here to talk about an update on the culture committee. And I just want to thank you, Jonathan, for the warm welcome you gave me. You make the room shine when you walk in, and I would love to hear any update you have on the culture committee.
Oh, thanks so much. Good to be here, everybody. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes? Can you hear me? Okay, good. I've actually got a new, I'm going to be doing streaming. So I got a different setup. So, and I'm wearing a green shirt. So that's why my head might look like it's floating, if that's abstract. Anyway, culture committee. First off, I just want to welcome everybody. For those of you that would like to join a, committee, within our brokerage, we're looking for people to join us. We usually do like one event every quarter, and we're planning a beach cleanup. And we also encourage agents to sort of support and be a part of Red Day and some community service projects, and some are just social events. And we have one exciting one coming up in April, which might seem like it's a ways away, but I guarantee the way this year is going, it's going to come up before you know it. And that is to support the Maui Marathon. So we're going to have our own table at the Maui Marathon. So when all those like hundreds or 1,000 runners come up, they get water and snacks and things like that. And it'll be like the KW table. So yeah, so I'm going to send email blasts out to everybody. And yeah, and about the details of these events. But if you're interested, you can let Chloe know. And we usually just meet once a month to go over, everything from how to make our culture, our KW culture thriving here, and to support each other. So that's another thing that, just as agents we do. And, we'd love to encourage your support and participation in these events. And also, as I always say, we're still in our campaign for the KW Cares I Care Pledge. So that is a pledge so that every time you get a commission check, a small portion, a tiny percentage of it goes to KW Cares. And if you've got questions about that, you can contact me as well. And it's like a one-time setup, and then you never have to think about it again, but you can know that you're being a compassionate contributor and helping agents around the world in their time of need. Thanks,
Awesome,
Sasha.
Jonathan. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry about my dogs barking in the background.
No worries. Great. Well, lastly, I also so impressed with our leadership. I heard a story about how Michelle Del Rosario is had an appointment every week and building this legacy leadership in her profit share, and just have been super impressed with her enthusiasm and commitment to it. And so I asked her to speak just for a minute or two on what she's doing as our leader. So we'd love to hear from you, Michelle.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I can't believe it's already the end of January. Where has the month gone? Okay, profit share. We have a very small percentage of our agents who have elected to participate and to take advantage of profit share. And this last year, we shared almost $500,000 of profit back with our agents. And I don't know if everyone's aware of that, but part of the model of Keller Williams is we're a company that shares profit back 48%. So whatever the company, the market center makes, if you have helped introduce our great company to other agents, you have the opportunity to earn profit share back. So this is my 7th year with the company. I'm a founding agent, and first year didn't really, think about profit share. I was just excited to be with a new company and really focused on transitioning my business. And then second year, I decided that every transaction that I had, I was going to talk to them about my experience with the company. And the way I did that was at the end of every transaction, I would send a thank you note. I would do one of two things. I would either mail it, a thank you note with a copy of the MREA book, or I would schedule an appointment to have coffee with them, usually about 30 days after the deal. And not all of them I could get to an appointment. So I would just mail it to them, but it would be a thank you note. I so enjoyed working with you during this transaction. And obviously you want to be authentic. So if you didn't enjoy working with them, you wouldn't do this. But I would sit down, have coffee with them, 30 minutes. And I just so enjoyed working with you. I want to share with you all the great things Keller Williams is doing for my business. And here's a copy of the Millionaire Real Estate book as a gift. That's it. It's just planting the seed. And at the end of the conversation, if they're like, oh yeah, I've read it, or I've seen it before, I've heard about it, or tell me what you're doing, I would say, would it be okay if my team leader, Lisa Teichner, gave you a call? If I asked her to call you, would you take her call? And most of them would say yes. I'd love to learn more. There's a few that wouldn't. But then, I turned it over to Lisa. It wasn't my job to sell them on the company or to tell them. I just shared my story. I joined, and this is what it's done for me in my first year of business, or my second year, or my third year. Now, as your principal broker and a member of the leadership team, I've set my own personal goal to share my profit share, to grow it this year by 12 additional agents. And so that's one agent a month. Gary Keller says that if you build your profit share line 1 to 15 people, that eventually it will start to get a life of its own, and it'll start to cascade downward. And as it goes downward, the different levels, it grows in width. That's how some of these agents who've really only been with their company 3, 4, 5 years are making, $100,000 in lifetime profit share. Dean is a member of Profit Share. Any agent in our company has the ability to build their profit share, and you don't even have to, do anything more than be mindful and think, who would be good with our culture? Who do I enjoy working with? And give their name to a member of the leadership team. So who does that look like? Sasha, is happy to meet with people. Chris Weaver, Lisa Teichner, myself. Keone Ball mostly meets with new agents, but Keone's a great resource as well. So, I'm teaching pre-license classes. One of my reasons for teaching the new free classes is to help build my profit share. Not only through, I'm not recruiting them, I'm just sharing my passion of our company and all of our great agents while I'm teaching. And it's already resulted in a new recruit for me. So I have an agent that signed on in January. So I've met my January goal of 1. I have 11 more months left, 11 more agents. And I just want you to know how easy it is. And $500,000. I mean, in 1 year, in 2021, agents in our company got $500,000. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't burn money. So for me, I'm like, that's free money. I want my fair share.
Awesome.
So if any of you ever have questions about profit share, please come see me. I love it. I got profit share last month, almost $1,000. I did nothing. It just, on the day of profit share deposit, I look in my account and there it is, almost $1,000. So what could you do with an extra $1,000?
Awesome.
So
thank you, Michelle.
if you're not, and please join us. We want to profit share to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. I just appreciate all 52 of you being on here. It's an honor to be with you. If a couple of you would be willing that haven't gotten to participate, share maybe some ahas that you got agents helping agents, an aha from this meeting, we'd love to hear.
I would like to say something about profit share because it's something that I didn't really pay attention to in the very beginning. And I talk to a lot of people, and it's just my nature to be excited about what I'm doing. It's been a life-changing experience for me in the last 4 years. And so I'm super excited about it. My business has tripled and I'm just so much happier, and it's easy for me to share. But this year I got $28,000 in profit share. I didn't even really had a clue what was going on. I didn't even try. It just it just happened, right? So I'm not selling anything. I'm just sharing my experience, and people, it's a great opportunity. If you really explain Keller Williams, the concept, is actually a no-brainer, right?
Well,
I just share my experience,
I've got something to share too. Number one, I can't thank Lisa enough for sticking with me and finally getting me over to Keller Williams. But Dean had a very big part in that too. He spent several meetings with me, and I've always loved working with Dean. He's highly respected in my eyes and just a great agent to work with. But Dean, you did a lot to help me come over here, and you were a big part of that. And Todd, you spent a lot of hours with me too, talking to me. So I just want to thank you guys. I had my best year ever. I was with another company in Blue for over 20 years, and I never did what I did last year. So thank you guys.
Awesome. We have time for one more, if there's anyone else that would like to share. Oh yeah, go ahead. Let's see.
So I've told other people this, but I haven't been able to recruit, or I haven't been able to get any other agents to join Keller Williams. But I've been with this office for a little bit more than a year. The previous, I kept a chart when I talked to my productivity coach of transaction volume I did the year before I joined KW, and then what I did last year. So the previous year before I joined Keller Williams, I had 5 sales. Okay, this year with Keller Williams, I had 43 and a half transactions.
Wow.
So,
wow.
The growth has been just gigantic.
That's awesome. I want to respect all of your time. I see one more person that has their hand up. We have another 2 minutes if you wanted to. Let's see, who was that? Latasha, do you see?
It was Rosalind.
I guess. Okay. If you'd like to share, we have another minute or so.
That was by mistake. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Really just such a gift to be here. I'm super excited to be a part of leadership. Really respect your time. Have a great day. And I will see the executive team at 9:15.
Aloha.